All right, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. This is Intellectual Idiot with Austin McGregor. Today, we'll be joined by special guest Reece Howden. Reece is a ski cross competitor. He has won a gold medal at the Youth Olympics in 2016. He went on last year, I guess it's 2022. So in 2020 was his rookie season. He went on to win 4 races, have 2 other podium finishes, eventually winning Rookie of the Year, as well as the Crystal Globe, which is awarded to the most overall points in the season. He ended up going on from there to go in the World Championships, where he placed 5th and eventually got named to Canada's Olympic team at the previous Winter Olympics in China. So it'd be amazing to hear his story. Here's some things from him. Excited to have him. Just waiting for him to pop in. So I appreciate you taking the time, man. Where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Lake Como, Italy.
Oh, right on.
It's pretty sweet.
So what is it? What time is it there for you?
Right now it's just before 9 o'clock, 9 p.m.
Gotcha.
Just out here burning a few days before going to Andermatt, Switzerland for the Red Bull race.
Right on. So how does the season work for you? I'm just curious because I see you kind of bounce it around here and there.
Yeah, so basically a quick overview of our season is October or September we'll have an early season camp in the Alps in Switzerland, and then our competition season usually goes from about middle to end of November till the end of March.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, with a break during Christmas, and then and then we usually July is off, but we ski almost probably 10 to 9 months out of the year easy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that, what your off-season training looks like. I imagine you can still travel and find slopes wherever you need it, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's been a little bit limited the last few years because of COVID. It's just been so much of a hassle that we've tried to stay in Canada. But this next year, we'll be going to Hood probably in June, and then actually Norway in August. So that'll be pretty cool. And then Switzerland in October. So
right on. So besides the slopes, what does the rest of your training look like? Do you take any time off of just focusing on gym stuff, or is that kind of just periodic?
We try to, but as I was saying before, it could be pretty tough to get a good, I guess you could say extended period of time where you can be consistent in the gym and focusing on that sort of stuff. So but for obviously skiing for us is probably the best workout, but we end up doing a bit of a probably 3 days a week lift, and then 2 days of a speed agility sort of thing, and then we have to do quite a bit of stretching. We find just with skiing and ski boots and stuff like that, we just get so fired up, and so we do a lot of hip mobility stuff and things like that. And then we do some training around kind of our similar to track time, so a minute to a minute and a half sort of max efforts, and
Gotcha.
kind of keeps us prepared.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of high impact when it comes to doing what you guys are doing, right? So especially that training and that stretching, that's almost probably more important than anything.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get a chance to swing by if you're ever in Chilliwack. Come check out the facility. I'm not sure. Like I said, I know you came through Fit for Change. I don't think our paths ever crossed, but whatever it looked like then, it's eons further ahead of what it was. So it's been
sweet.
Pretty exciting for us. Well, I guess we'll kind of peel it back a little bit. I was curious to hear about how you kind of got into this. How did ski cross become your passion and everything like that?
Yeah, so started skiing with the family when I was really young. I was on skis at 2 years old, and my parents really loved it. And it's a super cool sport because unlike, hockey or something like that, it's like a family sport where you're not just sitting in the bleachers and
Mhm.
watching the game and stuff like that. So my parents really liked that. And so I went into competing when I was about 8 years old. It was kind of like competing, but more kind of like, I guess you'd say, like almost like daycare or something on the slopes. You have like a coach and then a bunch of kids, and you just would rip around and work on skiing and have fun. And then kind of got into competitive racing when I was about 12 years old, and then went ever since then. I've been racing competitively. And that when I first started was in Alpine, so not ski cross. So that's like slalom, GS, Super G, and downhill. Raced that right till I was about 18, 19 years old. And then right around that time, I kind of started trying out ski cross, and I was doing both. And then I also went to the Youth Olympic Games for ski cross and won a medal there. And that was kind of the big push for moving over. Then I also was starting to get funding from the ski cross team. And I used to race BMX growing up too, so I would really love the head-to-head racing. And then also when we did Alpine, we used to do dual slaloms that were head-to-head, and I was always way faster when I was racing someone else and when I was racing the clock. So yeah, it was just right in my wheelhouse, and yeah, it kind of fell into it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes that competitive edge, having just someone else there is what keeps you going. It's just like, I just know I got to be faster than you. And
Yeah.
that's almost more of a drive for what our ability can actually do. And ski cross is relatively new, right? Like, is it a relatively
Yeah.
new or a sport, especially in really high competitive?
Yeah, so it was around in the early 2000s, but it was like a professional sport. Kind of got inducted into like the FIS, or the Federation of Skiing, in 2010 when it went into the Olympics. And then so yeah, it was in Vancouver was its debut, and then ever since then we've been in the games, and yeah, going strong.
Yeah, no, it's been super exciting to watch. And honestly, I think for myself, I'm in the same boat of probably most Canadians, where watching the ski events and the snowboarding events are a lot of fun, but the ski cross has made it just like to the next level. It's almost like that comparison of watching the Red Bull crashed ice. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah.
being able to watch four guys, four girls just go down as as they can and just see what happens. It's so much more invigorating as a watcher as well.
Yeah, it's easy to see what's going on if you don't have like a super in-depth knowledge of the sport. Like, that's the problem with Alpine. You can watch a guy go down, and 5% of the people that are watching it actually know why the person is faster than the other guy, right? And with ski cross, it's right in front of your eyes. So
Mm-hmm.
that's makes it easy. It makes it appealing, and yeah, it's just a great spectator sport.
100%. So, I mean, also too, you went on, obviously 2020 was a huge year for you. How was that getting into the actual, I guess, tour and obviously doing as well as you did?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I just kind of didn't have like the expectations I guess I probably had going into this year, and was able to just race. And it seemed like everybody else was kind of off that year with COVID, and I didn't care, and I was just present and just sending it. So yeah, and it seemed like whenever I did something, it always seemed to work out, and the odds were just in my favor. And total contrast to this year, I'd say, like, the odds just seem to almost never be in my favor. But we were able to get it done there at the end of the year to get a win in, and so I was happy with that. But definitely hungry for more next year.
100%. So is the season over now for you?
So the FIS season, or like the FIS World Cup season over. This Red Bull race is kind of like a tacked on pro race at the end of the season. This will be the second year that it's going on, but so yeah, it's like my race season still not over, but the World Cup season has completed.
Got you. Yeah, I was looking at some of the standings yesterday, and it looks like we're especially starting to get a good group of Canadians in the ski cross standings, right? Like it seems like it's a very competitive group of people you guys have around you too.
Oh yeah, no, it's very competitive. Yeah, like choosing the men and women to get to go to the Olympics was pretty ruthless. Like one of our guys, Chris Mahler, that didn't get a spot. The race before, or the last race, he actually won that World Cup. And him and I were the only two guys on the Canadian team that won World Cups this year, and he actually didn't even get a spot to go to the Olympics. That's how tough it is to get a spot. So yeah, and also I'm not sure if you saw this, but this year we won the overall, like the team cup. So officially the Canadian ski cross team is back on top. So awesome. That was pretty cool. Great to be a part of that and to contribute to that. So yeah, super happy there.
Got you. So yeah, so then they have individual standings as well as team standings in the FIS.
Yes.
Got you. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that definitely makes it a lot less of, I mean, obviously each individual is the one in the race, and I'm sure there's times where you guys are even racing each other, but knowing that there's also that team component probably brings a lot of building together as well.
Oh, for sure.
So then what was your experience like at this last Olympics, and maybe how did it contrast or compare to the Youth Olympics, which obviously was in a much different time zone in terms of the world?
Yeah, it was not too bad. It was, from what I heard, it was substantially better than Tokyo in terms of, you could say, like relaxed restrictions. You were able to actually do lots of stuff. You had to have a mask on basically 24/7, but other than that, they actually had like cool activities that you could do. You were able to actually eat with the rest of the athletes, and traveling around and stuff. It was definitely like less, but it was not too bad, and I had a lot of fun, and yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
What would you say was the highlight of your experience over there?
It was, we had so in Canada House, I guess you could say, we have like a, yeah, sorry about that. I guess we have power surge.
No worries, brother. It's all good. Yeah, so you were just saying about the Canada House.
Yeah, so basically it was because it was my first full Olympic Games and stuff. It was super sweet to get to go to like the Canadian Athlete Lounge and stuff, and it was you'd be able to go and hang out there and meet all the other athletes, and then watch all your teammates and watch all the events there. They had TV and food and stuff like that. So it was super cool to like have, like, we have our ski cross team, and then to like expand into this huge team and community of individuals that were all like, kind of going towards the same goal and stuff. And that was super unique. And yeah, I love that part of the Olympics. Was super fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's just having like-minded people, like you said, who have almost a common goal is, I can imagine, almost, I don't know if the right word is inspiring, but it is that, like, you guys are all there, and you just feel that energy that you guys are really all trying to do the best and really try and be the best in the world, which is amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
No, that's super awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, it's been quite a journey. It's been awesome to watch as we've been following along. Obviously, like I said, knowing that you had been around the community, being from Chilliwack, which is awesome to see. Like, it's always crazy for me to be an outside looking in when we have someone like yourself who is able to get to where you've gone and be able to see the kind of support that our small-ish community, really rises up and just wants to be there and have your back. And to see that, especially when the Olympics comes around with everything going on and there's reason for people to tune it out or not want to support it, but just knowing that regardless, we're tuning in to watch you was really cool, to say the least.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Chilliwack is great. It's a total little big town for sure. It seems small, even though we're growing like crazy and stuff. But yeah, the community and the whole part of it is great, and everybody has awesome support, and I've got lots of support from the community of Chilliwack, and I'd like to try and give some back too.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said, whenever you're around, feel free to pop by. We would love to see you and do something with the gym, of course, if there was any way. We still we don't have a whole lot of stuff laying around our gym, except we got all of our Seahawk stuff, of course, and we've got our little Seahawk plush doll with the Reece Howden racing hat on top. So
there you go.
We keep that behind the desk.
Perfect.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, and it's getting pretty late for you all over there anyway. I wanted to do this fun little draft thing with you, if you didn't mind. It's something that I had a couple buddies suggest I start doing with guests, and it could be anything from types of pizza or things like that, and I like to find things that are relevant. So I figured we'd do a little Canadian Olympian draft. And the same thing too, there really is no basis to anything. This whole podcast has got no structure at all, so it could be just people that you enjoy or people that you think are cool picks. But with that, I will basically, the honor is yours.
Awesome.
And you get the first pick.
Yeah, so this year at the Olympics, one of the events that I got to watch a lot was speed skating and stuff. And there's one of the guys from Canada. His name is Stephen Dupeau, I think it's called Dupeau. Mm-hmm. And yeah, dude, he was just an animal. Speed skating super cool when they have the pursuit races where with like short track and stuff like that. It's honestly very similar to ski cross in terms of like the head-to-head racing. And yeah, this guy was just an absolute machine. And I think he came home with one of each, gold, silver, and bronze. But yeah, it was so entertaining to watch him skate. And then also when the boys won the overall, or the like 4-man relay, he was just like the total anchor. But yeah, he was sick. So Stephen Dubeau. And yeah.
All right. Well, I'll keep it on a similar level. Was on that same relay team as well. I'm sure most people know Charles Hamelin. I'll take him with the second pick. He's a 6-time Olympian medalist. He's got 4 gold, a silver, a bronze. And the fact that he's done it from like 2006 all the way to this previous Olympics is just amazing. I love seeing athletes have that kind of longevity. Like it's super cool, especially in once again, another sport where you see how many hockey players can't have a long career because of their knees or their ankles. And these guys are literally just got quads like nobody's business. I mean, I'm sure it's the same in skiing as well, but that's super cool to see for me. And because we're talking about speed skating, I wanted to make a little side note. Have you ever heard of Stephen Bradbury? You probably
no, I've never heard that name. No.
So Stephen Bradbury, I should have done a little more research, but I only know this because I've got a bunch of Aussie friends. And Stephen Bradbury was an Olympic speed skater from Australia. And he actually went on to win the gold medal, first time ever for Australia in speed skating. The way that he won was in the semifinals. He was so far behind everyone that the whole team got wiped out except for him. So he went on to take the spot in the finals And then the exact same thing happened in the finals, and he walked away with the gold. I thought that was just a funny little plug, but hey, you never give up. That's the story of that one right there.
Yeah, that's racing, dude.
Anyway, so your second pick, Reece.
Second pick would probably be actually I think it would be probably one of my teammates, Marielle Thompson. She's had 3 opportunities at medals, and she's brought home 2. Wow. And honestly, like her second opportunity in Pyeongchang was so brutal, because like she went into training camp in September, blew her knee the year of the Olympics, and then just like fast tracked her rehab for the games. And the games she went back, that was her first race back. She'd been on snow like 3 days, and she actually went up and won the qualification round. She was already the fastest girl down the course, and then she just got unlucky in the opening round and went out. But no, like her consistency is so savage too. She got gold in Sochi. I think she was like 21 years old or 22, and then this year got silver behind probably one of the best female ski cross racers that has ever been, Sandra Naslund. She absolutely just destroyed this year. She won every single race except for one, and the reason that she didn't win is because she got tangled up with another one of the girls and crashed. But Marielle is just an absolute specimen when it comes to ski cross, and it's just, she's amazing.
That's awesome. And I mean, like you said, it's super cool to be able to see these people and be within proximity of being able to watch them continue to grow their legacy, right? Well, I guess my second pick, I'll go with Clara Hughes. You know, the fact that she was able to, I think she's got 6 as well, to do it in speed skating as well as, I believe it was cycling. Yep. To do the winter and the summer, to have that kind of competitive drive is something that I think we all aspire to have. And I mean, multi-sport athlete, that's, you know, we give Bo Jackson enough love, we got to give her a little more love. But that'll be my second pick.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was quite a feat.
Right. Oh, all right. And your last pick, brother.
So for my last pick, like I guess you could say like Sidney Crosby, but like honestly, just like the Canadian men's hockey team from Vancouver. Like that would have been, honestly, like definitely in Western Canada and possibly just Canadian history, that was probably one of the games that if you could have been there, you should have been there on that gold medal game. Like it was, just unbelievable having it in Vancouver, and also like having the guys that were playing like Luongo and Sydney. It was that would have been just absolutely unbelievable for the people who actually got to witness that game and be in that arena when they won. Like and then the pressure that must have been on those boys, like that was their only chance to win on Canadian soil. And it was just unbelievable that they made it happen.
Yeah, and I think that gold medal, because usually the hockey event is the last event, I think that was the one to claim the record for most gold medals as a host country too. So that was just, like you said, the pressure must have been enormous.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, no, that literally gave me goosebumps, you just talking about it. Like that's how much we all kind of relate to that moment, right? Like it's so gnarly. I still remember just sitting in my living room with like all of Rosedale packed into our living room watching that game. And I had Sid the Kid down as well. But I'll take another memory from the 2010 Olympics, and I'll go with John Montgomery. You know, 1 gold medal and 1 pitcher of beer chugged. Skeleton racer coming off, and just being handed that beer. That was like same thing, just like the most Canadian thing you could ever see, to just watch him walk off with a gold medal and just chug her back, and
Yeah.
something we could all relate to, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
the sliding sports are crazy because like when like the Olympics is huge for ski cross too and stuff like that, but like some of those sports like bobsled and skeleton and stuff like that, it's like that's it. You know, like they have a World Cup season and stuff like that, but the Olympics is everything. So if you have 4 years between, I wouldn't say like worthwhile competitions, but like competitions that are absolutely unrivaled
mm-hmm.
to any of your other competitions, and then being able to pull a medal out of that situation is unbelievable. And it's so savage that it's
Right.
that the amount of pressure and the amount of just consequence for a mistake is, yeah, it's just crazy how that the sliders do it. And also
Yeah.
those guys hammer in the gym harder than anybody else. It's ridiculous.
Right. Just putting it all on the line, literally, to go out there, and every time you're stepping on to your sled or into the bobsled, just literally putting everything on the line because of just
Yeah.
how extreme those sports are too. And I think it was nice having Vancouver being a host city, being able to build some of these facilities around or take advantage of them. So now that we, the public, can have opportunities to go try bobsled or skeleton. And I know a friend of mine went and tried the skeleton himself, and it's just like, obviously you're not getting close to the speeds that those guys are going, but just to realize just how crazy that actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, it's amazing to see, and the Olympics every 4 years. It's so fun to watch and so fun to get behind our country. And you know, obviously you already know this, but the city of Chilliwack is proud of you and everything you've done, man. We can't wait to see what's left to come. You've got so much road ahead of you. I appreciate you taking the time with me, man. I don't want to keep you too long, but you're more than welcome to come back whenever you want. And yeah, man, it's always fun to have these conversations and hear this perspective from people that obviously us us simple folk don't quite understand. So
Well, thank you very much, Austin. It's always fun to do these, and yeah, it's great to be a part of it.
right on, man. Well, I appreciate it.